Hi everyone, we are ready to start our next unit, and what we are going to be talking about for the next several art classes is printmaking. Printmaking is one of my favorite topics because there is so much to do and so much to learn and so much to create with it. The artist we're going to be focused on for this lesson is Andy Warhol. Let me see if my camera will focus. There it goes. And I have this book in the art room, and you're welcome to look at it, and I'll be showing this to you during our lesson at the demonstration table. What you're going to be creating is something inspired by Andy Warhol, and that's these flower prints. And we're going to be using nice bright colored paper and some other materials to finish these up. I'm going to set these aside because I want to keep my video short so I can show you exactly what you have to do when it is your turn to do the printing. So you're going to have a choice. I'm going to have stacks of brightly colored paper. You can pick two colors that go together well. I like to have one that is darker and one that is lighter, so there is contrast. So I'm going to set these aside. The other thing is, and you're going to have to label your papers with your name, so don't forget that. And you're going to need a brayer. Now, I know you probably want to call it a roller, but its official name is a brayer, and we're going to use that to roll paint today over our printing plate. This printing plate is great. This is a Gelli printing plate. It's very soft. Just be careful when you're using it. You don't want to poke anything sharp into it, otherwise it'll ruin it. Now, I said paint, and we are just going to be using tempera paint today. Most often we use ink when we're printing, but for this project I discovered that using paint works a little bit better. The other thing you're going to need is a flower. Now, this one has already been used, obviously. This is what it starts out to look like. I have a couple shapes of flowers. Okay, so you're just going to pick a flower, and I'm going to use this one because I've already used it. So you have to have this nearby. Now, when you put the paint out, you don't want to start with a lot. You just want to start with maybe, well, that's maybe a little bit bigger than a dime, maybe a nickel. And then you're going to take your brayer and you're going to roll this out. And because we're using paint, not ink, you're going to notice that it slides across this Gelli plate pretty easily. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to take my flower. I'm going to use the new one maybe. So when I use a new flower, I want to make sure that my petals stay as flat as possible. So I'm going to hold it here gently, and I'm going to place this as close to the center as I can, and I'm just going to gently press the petals in. I like starting with my dark color first, but you can certainly do what you'd like. Now you're going to see that there's this little thing bumped up here. That's going to kind of bump up on your paper. You don't want to poke a hole. So I'm going to take this, and once I place this down, I can't move it. So I'm going to just set this here, and with my hand I'm just going to go gently around that flower and try to press out. You need to press down and just do the best you can. And then you're going to peel it up. And you're going to see, yeah, my paper's a little wrinkly, but that's what's left behind, and that's totally fine. I'm going to set this aside, and then this can be set aside as well for someone else to use. Now, you can see a little bit of that flower image left behind. So that's where your other color comes in. So now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to press this down. Gently massage this, pressing into all areas. And then I'm going to carefully pull this back. Oops. And then voila, you can see my flower print. Now don't worry about these darker areas. Wait till you see what we do next. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to take a baby wipe and clean this off so the next person is ready to use it. I will have another lesson video to show you what we do next.